Hello, everybody. Today I am talking to the wonderful Paul Huggett. Now, Paul is a music man. He's got his own band. And I first heard about you, Paul, when you got in touch with the lovely Cancer Champions project that I'm involved with, offering to raise some funds for us. And I'm so glad that I've met you because you've done so much for us. And that's what we want to talk about today.
Oh,
So, tell everybody why you do what you do, if you like, and a bit about your music background, maybe a bit about whatever you want to share personally.
well, I've never been a professional musician, but I've had it in my blood for a lot of years. I won't tell you when it's gig because it's an awfully long time ago. I don't want to date myself that badly. But I haven't had a band for a while. I've been in a lot of bands. I've done some solo stuff. I've written songs. And when I got the current diagnosis about what I'd got to do cancer-wise, I needed something to focus on. And because I do a blues jam at Pisaro's in Hastings, pretty much I know a lot of musicians, some of whom, were, and others. Um, and I just sort of put a band together in about 48 hours from guys I know. Do you want to be in a band, Dave? Oh, yeah, I'll come in the band. Jim, you're going to play harmonica? Yeah, fine. And then I had a bass player, a very bass player too, who was at that time undergoing treatment for very serious cancer. And he said, I want to be in the band. And that gave him something to focus on. I mean, he's in three bands altogether, and he was doing gigs while he was having chemo, and that was such an inspiration. So I got this band together, and I thought, well, the main aim, I just want a gig. I don't be chasing after late night gigs. Don't want to play late anymore. Get too old for that. We will set up some gigs if we can find willing venues, but and it's easy when you go in and say, how would you like a nice gig that doesn't cost you any money? There'll
Yeah.
be lots of people drinking beer and collecting money for a charity, and they all say, fine. So we got started with three. We ended up with four, as you know, because we got thrown in, and they asked us to do it. Right. So we'll have done four minimum HVA MacMillan fundraisers by the end of the year. Plus, much to my own surprise, we'll have done another 10 gigs,
Yeah.
including festivals like the Beach, Nearly on the Beach concert, the Coho Festival. Most of them are that raises money for homeless and so forth. We did one for uh, best charity at Pisaro's. And so it's been good doing that. I just needed guys who would willingly play and not get paid. They're fairly rare in the music community. And so I can't afford to have anything happen to any of them. They've got
No,
to stay on
no.
board. But it's a five-piece band. Yeah, it's the Paul Huggett band, and not every gig we do is for charity. So we've earned a little bit out of it,
Wow.
and it's
But
it is a little bit.
it's lovely to hear that. And for people that don't know, we're talking about the Hastings area. It's a
Yeah,
community thing, isn't
yeah,
it, that
yeah.
you do?
That's right. It
We
is.
both
Yes.
we both live
Yeah.
quite close to each other, don't we? So I think it's wonderful that you thought of doing that as a kind of, I think you said distraction, didn't you, to your treatment
Yeah.
plan?
Well, that's pretty much right. Yeah.
It's a really
Distraction.
lovely way. And then other people that have got on board for maybe similar reasons, it's a lovely thing to do. And so it's good to share that with people, I think, so that they know, when you are going through treatment, there are things you can do. Some people think everything stops and it doesn't have to.
Yes.
Can
Yes.
keep can
Yeah.
keep going. And again, if you don't mind sharing, Paul, and you probably don't because you're very good at sharing, can you just let people know what type of cancer that you were diagnosed with and a little bit about your sort of experience?
Yeah. It's prostate cancer, and it's been with me a long time. I was first diagnosed in about 2012, 2013. It was slow progressing, so nothing needed to be done for 2 or 3 years, but they established that I'd got it, wasn't dangerous. I had a biopsy or two or three, um, and obviously loads of scans. They were keeping an eye on it, and when the PSA level started to rise, then they said, "Oh, hang on, we better have a serious, proper, big old scan now." And that's I had high food treatment for it in London with UCLH, who pioneered this, which is high intensity ultrasound. And it literally blows the cancer away. It's very targeted. And unfortunately, the first time they did it, there were two little tumors just at the limit of what they could do. The guy at the time said, I think I got both, maybe not. And unfortunately not. So I had to go back and have a second treatment. That took care of one side. But then subsequent scans found that, hang on, it's moved to the other side. And it progressed from there, and they found it had spread just a little bit. So they said, okay, well, now no more high food for you. It's got to be radiotherapy,
Yeah.
which, like everybody else, I didn't know too much about. I didn't want some radioactive pellets stuck in me, and that's a totally different treatment. What
Mm.
I didn't realize is just how high tech radiotherapy is. Before that, though, they started me on hormone treatment,
Yes.
which basically knocks all your testosterone and all the PSA on the head down to near enough zero. It great benefits, and they tell me it shrinks the tumors as well, stops them progressing. But it does have some things that you need to get used to, gentlemen, if it happens to you.
Mm.
You will find at the end of it, you're not able to watch sad films or talk to babies without crying. It affects the emotions. You can get mood swings. It can give you
Yeah.
depression,
Yeah.
which I had. Last winter was particularly awful. The weather was ghastly. I didn't feel I was making any progress. They still hadn't given me a date for when the actual radiotherapy started. So that was a low point, but you get through it. You can get through it. And there's loads of people like your good selves at HVA, you've got loads of contacts, all the right people to talk to.
Mm.
I decided to go about it my way, which was form a band and focus on that. I've probably been more advised really to talk to the right people, but it was easier to just, which I don't, as you know, I don't have any trouble talking. So
Yeah. Which is great.
um,
Great.
but I needed to focus it on it my way. So that's what they do first,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for 6 months plus 9 months nearly. Now it'll have to go on for another nine, probably minimum. But I'm in the middle now. Well, not in the middle. I'm in the last legs of the radiotherapy, which has been a trip to Eastbourne pretty much every working day. The machine is an amazing piece of space fiction. It doesn't touch you, it doesn't invade you. You don't feel anything. It hums, it clicks, it whizzes around you slowly. The tricky bit is that you have to be in the right state of, how can I put this, emptiness or fullness.
Yeah.
That resulted, for instance, today, it's been going smoothly for a few days. Today, I was on and off the table 3 times, needing to adjust
Mm.
my water content, shall we say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then they have to get you positioned properly, so you get the staff, mostly with warm hands, moving about. And then it goes, and it's when the treatment starts, each session is less than 10 minutes of machine time. And you get to know what the sounds it's making. Good, we're good to go now. It's clicking, it's humming, we're on it.
Yeah.
And then after that, pull your pants up and go.
Yeah.
It makes you tired. It's definitely made me more tired.
Yeah.
I've had to not do my radio shows, of which I do 2 a week.
Mm.
This week, I thought I'm not really concentrating. And as you noticed, it took me a time to set up Zoom because I just fumbled it because I forgot what I was doing.
It,
So I've
exactly.
taken time out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had one gig in my first week of treatment, which was fine.
Mm.
And thankfully, I thought I really want to do that. And we've got upcoming gigs, including one for HVA in July.
Yes, that's right. Let's talk about that now. You are
Yep,
doing a gig at the Albion, which is in Hastings,
absolutely.
and it is to raise funds and I like to say awareness about cancer and open up conversations.
Yes, yes,
And this is what I
yes.
love. You've done a few gigs for us already, and I've been lucky enough to be there. And it's just a lovely community feeling, isn't it? I love that. I love what you help us get. But it also is, to me, it's a question of you share your story, you talk to people and everything. You encourage people to talk to
Yeah,
us because there's
yeah.
always a couple of the champions there, isn't there? And and
Right.
people and people do talk, and I'm so grateful for that because
Mm,
people talk. And what's happening with you, Paul, and what you provide for us really is an area of people, if you like, a demographic, I think they call it, that we haven't been able to reach. So we are talking to, I've got to be honest, it's mostly men within the music scene. So it's different kinds of people than we have spoken to in the past. And because you are so open and so authentic, you share a little bit of your story and everything, and you make it easy then, I think, for other people, men, I've got to say, I mean, women do
yeah.
too, for them
Well,
then.
if it's prostate cancer, it's going to be men.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But people will then talk to us that maybe won't. And I've had some very moving conversation with people who've said to me, I've never spoken to anyone before. So for that, I am so, so grateful, because this is what I think it's all about, isn't it? We share, we talk. I know myself, when I talk about things, it lightens the load. I think you're the same, aren't you? You know, if you say something and you don't hide it all, then it helps you feel a bit better. You've got another way of doing it with your music, you know. So I'm just so, so grateful. And as I say, you do raise lots of money for us. There's, like you say, it's a free gig, and you raise lots of money. But for me, the really important bit is that you're opening up those conversations and getting rid of some of that stigma around it, because it's something that a lot of men don't want to talk about,
Yeah,
isn't it? And you do.
that's right. They think there's going to be all sorts of things, unpleasant things happen to them from the get-go. There isn't. There's not. You know, the
Yeah.
worst that can happen at the beginning is going to get a finger up your bottom. Well, yeah, just live with that. You don't. The consequences if you don't. You know, and that's not always the case anyway. For PSA,
No.
just have a blood test. A blood test. Your PSA. I'm pleased to say that three people, three friends of mine, a couple of radio listeners have, and musicians have so consequently had their checks. One of them was fine. One of them got raised PSA, and they keep an eye on him. Somebody else discovered that they had a very aggressive form of prostate cancer about which they knew nothing, but they went and did it because I'd been banging on about it.
Yeah.
Basically, I think
Yeah.
I can't totally take credit because I'm. This is in my head. This is the story, and that was the timeline. And since then, it was progressed very quickly. The operation took place very successfully a week or so ago. Recovery is on the way, in the second stage of it, and hopefully that'll have done the job. Now, that might not have happened without having had conversations about it,
I
not necessarily related to the gigs, but we're talking with
Yeah,
friends,
I,
and you know,
I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, without a doubt, you know, you are helping people to maybe think, oh, I will go and get a test, you know, and I think that's really valuable, isn't it? You know, to because people
yeah,
are
yeah.
scared of going for tests. They don't want to know sometimes. They are scared of, like you say, the
Do you
traditional.
know what? I've had so many scans that it's a wonder I'm not magnetic. Um, Hundreds of scans. That the actual test, that the procedures weren't that scary. HIFU was a little bit more, how can I put it, messy, shall we say? Um, but they were not things that worried me unduly if it was going to fix things. What always worries me is the results of the scan afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, and that is so recognised, isn't it? That while we're waiting, I think there's a term, isn't there? Anxiety, people call it. It's a bit
Yeah,
of,
that's right. That's right.
but it is, and you're absolutely right. You know, waiting to find out what it is, the unknown, the
That's
uncertainty
right. And
is hard, isn't it? But then when we find out, like
that's
you said,
right. Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
get a treatment plan,
Yeah.
and you're on your way. And it is something, I mean, I used to be terrified of, you know, the word cancer, the word chemotherapy. I didn't really think about radiotherapy, but when it came up with my turn, I was like, oh, what's this all?
Sure.
You know, so there's anxiety all the way, isn't there? And I think that's another reason, by talking about it and sharing, you know, you're living proof. You know, you're sitting here talking to me now. We're having a
Yeah.
bit of a laugh. We've both been through treatment. You know, we've both, well, not come out the other side necessarily, but we're progressing, and the prognosis is good, isn't it? You know, and you think, and then people can go, oh, you know, it's not so bad, you know. And I've got to say, you know, because you bring the music into it and your lovely sense of humor, you know, there's fun to be had around it. You know, there is, you know, when we go to your gigs and everything, it's just the lovely feeling. There's a lot of love in the room. There's music, there's fun, there's laughter. You're always having little jokes, aren't you? You know, so to think that this is because of cancer, if you
We
like.
don't take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly, we can't, can
Yeah.
we? The
Yeah.
sense of humour is
No,
definitely what
no,
we need.
a lot of bands, they're so focused on the music that that's it. They get a bit serious about it, or they don't like the word entertaining for some reason. But well, we don't do that. We
No,
mess with it. We take the mick out of each other. We do. They'll say absolutely anything. As you know, Jim, my right hand
oh,
henchman,
he's brilliant.
he's prone to put me in the frame when it comes to he got this band together because,
Yeah,
and of course that all helps get the reason across, doesn't it?
yes,
And I say even when they're not an HVA gig, he's been doing that at a couple of
oh,
shows. Why the band
yeah,
was put together.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know actually when
It
you,
has led one or two people to misinterpret the fact that we might be collecting money that way, and we haven't.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I came to see you once just because I wanted to, because I enjoy your music and everything. And you gave a shout out to me and said, oh, look who I am and what I do and everything, which is lovely. Because again, it wasn't planned, was it? It wasn't a fundraising gig that
No,
you were doing. But then
no.
people feel that they can talk to me, which is really, really good. And I always say, it is so good to just talk. If you've got a worry, you've got a question or anything, you've shared quite a bit now about radiotherapy that I'm sure people are going, oh, I didn't know, and about the testing, like you say, it's not always finger up the bum. It is also blood tests, isn't it? That how they diagnose and everything. So for people to know that is really valuable, isn't it? Just to know that this is how it is. So
I'm
really,
doing at the moment, Nadine, is I'm frantically looking for the power lead to plug this laptop in before it dies.
oh, is the battery going to go dead? I love it. This is,
Oh, talk about pre-planning, people.
do you know what? This is real life, and
We've got this.
I love it. Of
We've
course
got
we are.
this. There you go.
Yeah. Are you plugged in?
Yes.
Brilliant. So we're not going to lose you.
Yeah, it's
I love it. And do you know what? This is what this is all about. This is a real conversation between real people who, yeah, sometimes we forget to plug our laptop in. So which is wonderful. But I just honestly
just
just
at the minute I'm forgetting quite a lot.
it is, yeah, why wouldn't you? You're going through a lot, aren't you? So it definitely does. I know when I went through my radiotherapy, I didn't fit, I mean, just so people know, when it's actually like you said, I think you said when the machine is doing its thing, you don't necessarily feel anything, but it does have an effect on your body because it is quite intense, isn't it? And you do start to get more tired, don't you?
Yes.
And you do feel a bit like the brain doesn't work necessarily, and like you said, you went through hormone treatment before. And that has a massive effect on you, doesn't it? So it is actually just
Definitely.
recognizing these things do have an effect, but they're not necessarily as horrible and scary as everyone thinks they are. I think that's sort of like
No,
why I like
no,
to
no, no,
yeah,
no. I mean, the old days when chemotherapy was a wicked thing that made you feel more ill than the disease. Because with this form of cancer, until right now, in 12 years, the cancer itself has never given me any pain.
no, no,
So I wouldn't have known it was there.
no, exactly.
Um,
Yeah,
and
good
it was
point.
kind of discovered slightly accidentally. I won't go into details, but it was. And it was just as well. And I say, a couple of friends have had the same sort of thing. Look, we don't like looking at PSA level. Let's just take a look, and then the scan will show you what you need to know, generally
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah.
so everyone's going to be different too.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I had no clue. My breast cancer was picked up on a routine mammogram. I had no clue at all. It wasn't that I had a lump or I felt anything. And then you get the treatment, and because it's caught early, then obviously the results are normally better. So again, big both of us are big advocates for the testing. It's very, very important because we don't know, do we? We could
Earlier the better. Yeah, yeah,
exactly the
yeah,
earlier the better. I
yeah.
totally agree. So
If you wait until you feel poorly, then chances are it's going to be too late. Not
yeah,
careful.
exactly. And I think we have all this testing now, don't we? And I know the project, the Cancer Champions project that I'm part of, is big on reducing that stigma and that fear around the initial testing, because some people don't go for their screening and their tests and everything.
No, that's right.
So again, if we can, encourage people, and you've already said that you've done that, to have a test, and then and not be scared of the outcome because it's all manageable, isn't it? So
And far better than it was. Yeah,
all
yeah,
the time, it's improving all the time, isn't it? And
yeah.
I find that amazing. So I think that's wonderful. So I do feel as well, that you mentioned a little bit earlier about radio shows that you do. You are quite a celebrity, I think. You probably don't see yourself as a celebrity, but I do. You're on a couple of radio shows. You can give them a
Really tiny one.
tiny little, so you're big in my world, and I love that. But
Oh,
you're on a couple
it's
of
nice of you to say.
yeah, I love it. But so you're on a couple of radio shows, aren't you? You do, is it
Yeah.
Hastings Rock? You do Hastings Rock.
Hastings Rock is one of them. Yeah, I should have been wearing my t-shirt, shouldn't
Oh,
I?
there you go,
Oh,
Mr. Trick there. Never mind.
missed
Never mind.
promotional opportunity
Yeah.
missed there.
So you
Yeah,
do that. And what's the other one is it called? I can't remember.
Image Radio,
That's right. Yeah.
Image Radio UK, with a long running show that I've done. I've just recently completed 300 episodes of. I was
Nice.
determined to do that before I took a break,
Yeah.
and I just managed to do that. I started in 2020 when lockdown happened. There was no music.
Yes.
We couldn't go and play music, even though we had music to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I was doing radio shows and recording a few songs.
Mm. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Lockdown gave us all of that if the world has changed and everything. And when you get a cancer diagnosis, the same kind of thing happens, doesn't it? And it's finding your way. And like you say, for you, it's the music,
Yeah,
setting up the band and finding that. And I really feel, as I say, there is the way that you do your gigs, it is a community thing, isn't it? But the band itself, I feel, is a lovely community as well, isn't it? I get that feeling from you all that you're so close and you share all these things.
It is one of the most fun bands I've been in because
Yeah.
there's only one ego, and that's mine. And no, it's a fun band. We do it because we love it, not because we're
Mm,
trying to sort of.
yeah, yeah, and I do think as
Yeah,
well.
we're all too old to make a big time anyway, and we're not really interested. And we just like to play. I must say a good word too for sort of keeping me focused, keeping going right direction to Stella, my other half. And of course, she does a radio show as well on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
That can be a trial.
She does,
If you
yes,
bet,
I listen to
if
Stella.
anything's going to go wrong with your laptop or go wrong, it will happen at 7:30 on a Sunday morning when you're not at your best.
Exactly, exactly.
So well done. Thank you, sweetie. If you
Yes,
watch this,
yes, well done,
well,
Stella. I love Stella's show on a Sunday morning.
I
I
know you do.
get to
Yeah.
listen in and I get a little shout out, so I feel like I'm famous too, which I love. So I love it, I love it. But I think this is the thing. So you're all about community, aren't you? You're all about, sharing things with people, and it's the joy that I feel when I see you personally, when I see your gigs and everything, when I listen to your music, there's just joy. And I think it's really important for people to remember, with a cancer diagnosis going through treatment, there still is a lot of
Yeah,
fun,
boy, you let me go in.
joy to be had.
You
Yeah,
let
oh,
me
there you
go
go.
in.
That's okay. We can blame it on the hormones, can't we? But I
I
think
blame a lot of things
that's
on
what
that.
there is honestly, normally when you talk, especially when you make a little speech at your gigs and everything, you normally have me in tears. So it's quite nice if I can return the favour.
Well, it's just the band that makes you weep.
There you go. But in a good way, in a good
No,
way.
it doesn't. There's not necessarily.
Oh, it is. There is, and that's what I feel. That feeling of community, and you touch people's hearts, you touch their souls, and that is
Oh,
partly music, but it is also because you do share, and you share in such a beautiful way that people can really relate. So I love that, and as I say, I'm very glad that I've met you through all of this. So it's really, really important. But to really come back to
yeah.
that, to make sure that people know that actually these gigs, yes, there is a bit of emotion involved. Why wouldn't there be? There's nothing wrong with that. And music is emotional, isn't it? So it is. But on the whole, what do we do most of the time? We laugh. We have a laugh. We have a good time, don't we? And that is what.
Oh, yes.
And to know, you're going through your treatment at the moment. There's lots of people that are, but you can still have some fun and have a good time and really sort of enjoy and connect because there's
Well,
a
we hope that a lot of the people they're watching and listening, if you can come along to the Albion on the 16th
yeah, definitely. Yeah, come along.
of July, it's a Thursday night, it's a school night, but so what?
Yes. Yeah,
7 o'clock with three bands on. There's
yeah.
ourselves, the Milton High Duo, Dan Jones and the Sacred Hounds. All good original music, most of it, in fact, which fits the album. We've got a good sound system. The boss there's put that on for us, and it's going to be the collections. Good people will be there. We've got another gig in between time in Infield, which will be my first one back
Yes,
after
that's right,
stopping.
in Linfield, and that is for the Bonfire Society,
It's for the Infield Bonfire
which
Society,
is
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Four bands at that one, yeah.
yeah, so you do so much, don't you? And I know you've got other gigs coming up for the HVA as well, which is brilliant. But I'm going to put in the description underneath this because I put this on my YouTube. I'll put all the details where people can get in touch. But just so people, if they're listening or watching this, you've got a Facebook page, haven't you? You've got Paul Huggett Music. Is that the best place for people to look you up and find
We'll
out?
Huggett Music. Well, on there, that's where all the gigs go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, I have a personal page. I have a personal page as well, and
yeah.
you you'll be able to guess. There are a number of Paul Huggets about, and I'm one of them. Um, from memory, I think the Facebook tag is like Paul Huggett 52 or something. Don't know
Yeah,
why.
I think if people just put Paul Huggett in, they'll get you, and
Yeah, that's right.
and they'll see your
Either that or be talking to another musical friend who lives in Woking who's no relation at all.
No, they won't get it wrong. We know when it's you, so that's it. But yeah, Paul Huggett and Paul Huggett Music, those are the places to find you and find out
That's
what,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
which is brilliant.
yeah.
But as I say, I'll put that in the description under this as well. So that is brilliant.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. I'm happy to talk to people if they've got any questions. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. If
That's
people
why you made me a cancer champion, which I'm very proud of.
I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased because you are a cancer champion. You are wonderful, which is brilliant.
And we're both on the wall at the St Mary's Club as being.
And yes, exactly, because we do like having our photos taken, don't we? We definitely do. But it is, I really feel just getting the whole idea of taking that fear away, reducing that stigma and the anxiety. I'm big on that. I don't want people to be scared of a diagnosis and the treatment and everything. I'm really big on that. And
No, no, no.
I know
You'll be
that
more scared if you don't.
I think, yeah, I think you're right, but that sometimes is hard to recognize. I know if you'd have said that to me years ago, I'd have gone, oh yeah, really, I don't want to know.
Yeah, oh yes.
But
The
I
first step is the big
so it's
one. The first
speaking
step's a
from,
big one, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
it is speaking
yeah.
from experience, definitely. And I think, I mean, what if you had a word of advice to say to someone who was scared, maybe scared of having the test in the first place, or scared because they've got a diagnosis? What, I mean, I'll put you on the spot now, Paul. That's a bit mean of me, but is there something that you'd say? Is there any word? I mean, you would, if you naturally were talking to someone, I'm sure you'd think of
I
something.
suppose as encouragement,
Mm.
and it's a bit of a stick and a carrot, is that if I'd not had the initial checks and had not acted on them 13 years ago, would I be making this now? Maybe not.
But you
It
know,
wasn't big aggressive, you know.
mm.
It could have been one where I could have been gone in 3 years,
Do you know what that
and
is?
I'm still here.
Yeah, that's a really very good point, and I think so true because we just don't know, do we? I'm the same. I didn't know anything, but who knows what would have happened if I didn't have the diagnosis and the treatment. So I think that's a very good point. I knew you'd say something profound, but it really is. But that's the thing to really get
Put
that.
up on the spot.
There you go. Put you on the spot and look, you deliver. So I say it all the time, don't I? I'm so grateful to you, Paul, and all that you do, and so glad that I've met you. And I just, yeah, encourage everyone to
Vice versa.
come along to your gigs, listen to you on the radio and your lovely wife, because she is amazing. And really, just get involved and ask those questions, open up the conversations. If they don't talk to
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
it's not everyone's going to be able to talk to us, talk to someone. There are people out there to help you, to talk to someone, share
Somebody. Yeah,
years and your worries with somebody, because it really does help, doesn't it? Lift that weight, definitely, because we all carry it. So I'm so
yeah.
grateful. As I say, look Paul up, Paul Huggett Music, Paul Huggett Facebook, and definitely, get involved and ask any questions because we're both happy to help, aren't we? So
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes,
So
we
I really appreciate your time this evening, bearing in mind that you are tired from your radiotherapy. I really appreciate it.
are.
And yeah, I wish you well with the rest of your treatment.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.